Hey everybody and welcome back. Today we're talking about the BLUETTI EB3A, and I think it's probably the best entry-level power station that you can get right now, and really the ultimate travel companion for the weekend warrior. Let's get into it. Well, hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Sean. I like to make lots of gear video focused around camping, and I do some vehicle builds. That's kind of what this channel is all about. And today we are looking at a power station. Now, if you follow the channel, you know that I have a dual battery system in my truck, and that's what I really use on my camping trips to run my refrigerator. Something like this is going to be a great addition to that, not a replacement by any means. If you're looking to really power like a refrigerator and more of kind of like a generator that you can really live off of, this is probably not going to be the right pick for you. But I say it's probably the ultimate travel companion for the weekend warrior, and I'm going to get into exactly what I mean by that. But first off, I just kind of want to do an overview on the unit, show you guys what it does, the power outlets, and its capabilities. So let's get into that, and then we'll talk about some of the things that you can power with it. Like, yes, you can power a fridge, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Electric kettle like I've got right here, and just some other really cool use cases for something like this. So first off, let's talk about what you can do with it. So on the top, you're gonna see it's got this wireless charge port with an output of 15 watts. Essentially what you do is you just turn on the DC outlet section, which is already powered on right now. And if I take my phone case off of my iPhone, I can put it on there and you can see it's charging. And so that is a pretty cool feature for somebody who is looking to maybe have this up in a tent at night, or maybe you've got this on the back of your tailgate. You just want to throw your phone on there and let it charge. That's a pretty cool use case for that. Now, additionally, we'll go over the 12 volt section right here. You've got your standard little cigarette type lighter outlet, and then you've got these two 10 amp DC outlets. You've got 3 USB outlets. 2 of them are USB-A, and then you've got 1 USB-C. Over here, we've got a little bit of a light. Now this has got 3 settings. You can do light, bright, and then SOS. Pretty cool feature if you maybe need a light up in your tent, or for whatever other reason you need a portable light. Down here, you've got your AC outlets, and this is kind of what I typically have been using this thing for so far. So with just a click right there, sometimes a double click, you'll turn on these AC outlets. Like if this wasn't in use right now, one click kind of brings up the screen. The next click will turn on the appropriate outlet. And so right now we've got our DC and our AC outlets engaged. And down here, this is where the incoming power is controlled. And so you've got this little solar type charge cable. I actually have a portable solar panel. You guys, if you want to check that out in the last video that I did, I have a portable solar panel that is 200 watts, and it's able to charge this thing up really quickly. And so that little combination, this little power station and that solar panel, are going to be a great pair for me going forward. We'll get into that later. And then you've got your standard AC wall charger, which is, so this guy right here. You just plug it into the wall, and it starts charging up. And I've been testing this thing out today a little bit more, and it's down to 65% right now. So I'm going to plug this into the wall as we continue to talk about this unit, and you can see how fast this thing charges. All right, so just to give you guys a little bit better view of this little display screen right here, I wanted to bring it up a little bit closer. As you can see on this side, we've got the incoming power. So currently charging from the wall at 266 watts. When we started charging, it was at 66%. It's already at 69, and you can see the little power indicator showing us that it's charging. Now the last thing I was using this little power station to power was this little electric kettle over here, and that was pulling around 489 watts, which if you look down here, that is where we get this little hour prediction. So it says we've got about 0.3, 0.2 hours left of battery from where we're currently at to be able to power that electric kettle because it pulled so much power. So really this is going off of whatever you were using last. I had my phone charging on this thing earlier, and it said I had 30 hours remaining. So it just depends on how much watts you're pulling. Now I also just wanted to pull out, you guys can probably hear it going though, but you got the fan going, and this is the loudest it gets. Now still for me, for out on a camping trip, something like this, that's pretty bearable. And just the little fan noise, something like that's not gonna personally bother me. And this also is with it charging at 263 watts. If you've just got it up in your tent, maybe charging your phone or your Apple Watch or something like that, I don't think you're probably going to have that fan running quite at this rate. We'll talk about it in a second, but there also is a silent mode that this can be on, and so if that really bothers you, you can run it in that silent mode and you don't have to worry about this loud fan noise. Now, since this is a BLUETTI product, it does work with the app, so I want to pull that up and show you guys some of the features that that has. So we come up and we've got this pretty cool looking home screen right here, and this is going to give us quite a bit of information. So we've got 262, you can see watts coming in from the power on the right side. On the left side would show us solar power, and then on the bottom you see outgoing DC and AC wattage. Right now we don't have this thing powering anything, so we're not seeing anything right there. But we will in a little bit. Now I'm going to go over to settings and show you some of the features that you can use there. Charging mode. Right now it's on standard charging mode, so you hear that loud fan. Let's turn it on to silent. Our input has gone down to 103, 107 watts. Right now the fan is still going, so I'm wondering if that is kind of a temperature thing. I'm going to leave it on this setting and we'll wait a second to see if that fan truly kicks off. So if we go into the turbocharging mode, there's a little bit of a warning that pops up. It says fast charging at a maximum of 350 watts. And there's a note, for the best battery lifespan, please turn on this mode only when urgent power is needed. Now, for my use case, I probably don't see myself ever really needing to do that, just given that my main hub of power for when we're out on a camping trip is going to be my dual battery system. This is going to be in addition to it. So like I said earlier, in a second, and I hear that fan just kicked off, but in a second, we will talk a little bit more about that and what my use case is going to be for it and what other things I think are applicable for a little power station like this. All right, let's get back to the settings. So there is a powerlifting mode, which is essentially lets you power things that are over that 600 watt limit. Now, I'm going to read a little note that they have before you go into it. It says suitable for powering heating devices, purely resistive loads, 1200 watt max. The rated output remains 600 watt. Do not run fridges, air conditioners, and other heating devices with inductor or motor. And I think they say that because it could damage the item. And so it's a cool feature that maybe if you had an electric kettle that was stronger than 600 watts, you could probably power something like that, or a heating pad or electric blanket, but it's essentially still going to run at 600 watts, just at a lower voltage. And so you're still not getting that extra power. These things are going to, like if it's a heating device, it's probably not going to get as hot as you want, as quick as you want, but it could still work. My recommendation would be to just stick with items that this is made to power, so 600 watts or less. So earlier I mentioned that this has got a 600 watt load limit, and it will run for 268 watt hours. Now, let's kind of talk about what this thing is really made for. Earlier I said this is the ultimate travel companion for the weekend warrior. And what I mean by that is this thing is like the perfect thing to bring out on a camping trip to charge everything that you're gonna need for maybe a couple days, maybe a week if it's not that much. It will charge your laptop, it will charge your iPhone, your Apple Watch, your camera batteries. Now, how long it will last, well, that kind of depends on how you're using it and how much you're using it. But as I said, it's got the 268 watt hours. And so it just depends on what you're running. This thing, I used it for a week on my nightstand just to see how long it would charge my Apple Watch, my iPhone. I ran it for a week, never ran out of batteries, worked great. It will power a fridge. It's just not meant to be like what you rely on to power your fridge for a weekend, or so, as I would say. Now, I've got a couple 12-volt fridges that I take in my truck on our camping trips, and I run them off my dual battery system. And I have tested to see how long this thing will run one of my fridges. Now at 75 degrees, which is just what the temperature was for the day, my fridge was empty, so that has to be taken into consideration. It ran for 10 hours one evening, and so that's a pretty long time. Now I can see myself using it occasionally to make my fridge portable. My dual battery system is all powered through my truck, so my refrigerator needs to stay at my truck. But maybe if we're fishing down there by the river, or we go out to the lake for a day, and I just want to bring the refrigerator up with me onto the beach, I could bring this and probably run it all day long. If I plugged my solar panel up to it, I would be able to charge it as I'm using it, and I could probably run it for a 24-hour period, knowing it would be draining overnight. But you know, with that sunlight during the day, I've actually tested it out, and the solar panel will bring in easily twice as much power or more than the refrigerator is drawing when the compressor's running. And so with that setup, essentially I could have unlimited power. I just wouldn't want to rely on it as my only source of power for a refrigerator, because I think things will just happen. Maybe your refrigerator will run and work harder because of warm temperature or whatever. It's just not something I would want to rely on as your only power source for a refrigerator. But it could be a great solution if you want to make your refrigerator mobile and you're like me with, you know, a dual battery system or something like that. But still a great little use case for that. Now, what am I going to be using this for? I'm going to be using this for coffee in the morning. I got this really cool electric kettle. This thing is made by Stoke Voltaics. And this is the Joule. They actually sent this out to me recently, and I was pretty stoked because I was looking for an electric kettle that would work with this. Now, there's a ton of electric kettles, and most of them run above 600 watts, but this thing runs under 500, and so this is totally compatible with this thing. Before I started this video, I actually did a little bit of a demonstration for myself. It was the first time I was trying this, and I filmed that, and so I'll include that right here. So right now, I've got this Joule little electric kettle plugged into the EB3A through the AC outlet. We are pulling 489 watts. Battery's already down to 87%. And I've just been going for about 30 seconds here, and I'm hearing the water start to go. So pretty interested to see how well this little electric kettle works and how much this little power station can really push out. Now, when it comes to heating sources, that's always going to draw the most power. And so it's really important, if you're going to have a little portable power station like this guy right here, that you have a electric kettle that is going to be able to stay under that 600 watt output. Now, there is that powerlifting mode. You can really hear the water start to go now, but there's that powerlifting mode which will allow you to go above that, but it will lower the voltage And so you're not gonna get probably the appropriate power. But with a little electric kettle like this, which is specifically made for a little power station like this and to be portable and to go camping with, man, this looks like it's a really good setup. So we're down to 82%, and I'm gonna take a look here because it sounds like the water is just about there. We're starting to see bubbles, and this thing is really going. All right, so we're at a full boil as of right now, and we are down to 66%. So I believe we went down from 90% to 66%. So pretty cool use case for this thing. This thing had boiling water in just a couple minutes. It did take a big chunk of the power out of it. It drained it from around, I think 90% is what it was at, and ended up at 66%, which is what we started charging this from. And so that does take a big chunk of power out of it. But that's gonna be my use case for it. Coffee in the morning, and then in the evenings, I plan on bringing this up into the tent just to charge phones, my wife's phone, my phone, Apple Watches, stuff like that, camera equipment, just so I can have all my stuff fresh and ready to go in the morning. One thing I don't think I mentioned yet on this thing is it's insanely light. And so it's got this little handle on the top, will make bringing it up into the tent a breeze. It will be super convenient. It's nice, small, portable, great to throw in my camping equipment, great to pack alongside the electric kettle and bring it. So a real quick check-in on the charging. We're at 88% and counting. Currently it's silent, but as you guys have probably heard on and off as I've been talking, the fan does kick on from time to time, and it's not that silent. I think it's fine. It's not gonna bother me, but it's definitely not silent. Now, before I leave you guys for the day, I do wanna let you guys know, BLUETTI reached out to me and sent me this unit to do a video on it and just to give my honest feedback to you guys. I really like it. I do think it's one of the best entry-level power stations that you can get, and I can't wait to take it out on some camping trips. I think it's gonna add to my gear kit and just be a big bonus for me. And as I was getting ready to make this video, BLUETTI reached out to me and said, hey, let them know Prime Day, they're gonna have some huge discounts. And so Prime Day is like, I don't know, 5-6 days away from the time that you guys are gonna be seeing this video, if you're seeing it when I release it. And so keep that in mind. If you're looking to buy this thing, I will have a link in the video description to its Amazon link during Prime Day sale. When that's over, I'll probably switch over to an affiliate link that they've left for me in the video description. And if they offer any other discounts for you guys, you can also find it there. I also was sent this electric kettle by Jewel, and it was the perfect timing because I've been looking for an electric kettle ever since I got this power station, and a lot of them unfortunately won't work with this. There are some like really cheapy 300-watt electric kettles that I found on Amazon, but I really wasn't into any of those. These guys reached out to me and sent me this one out, and I think it is going to be awesome. Just a quick note on it, you can do drink, which is what I tested it on, but you also can use it as like for soup or like mountain houses. And then you can actually has a popcorn feature, which I thought was pretty cool too. And so I'm probably gonna take this out on some camping trips and test it out. I will link this in the video description for anybody interested in that. This one, I've had a lot of time with it, and I've been using it for all sorts of things, to power my refrigerator, to power my power tools. I've used it to charge my Milwaukee products that I use to work on my truck, like my Impact. And so this thing has been great. I've really liked it. And I besides the loud noise that you heard from the fan in silent mode, I got nothing bad to say about it. I think it's worked out really well. And it would be the ultimate travel companion for the weekend warrior. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. I know this is different, doing it in my kitchen and all. I used to do a lot of these videos out on camping trips, but now that I'm going camping with my 2 and 4-year-old all the time, I don't really want to be doing product videos or reviews or gear videos or anything like that when I'm with my kids. I just want to hang out with them and have a great time. So let me know what you guys think of this new format. I'll be experimenting with different things because I love making these YouTube videos. I love talking about gear. I love doing vehicle builds and all that sort of stuff. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope to see you out there. We'll catch you in the next video.